Guys, it's Jen. This is a Jenna Zen episode of Reframing Me. In these short bits, I give you something to meditate on or journal about. Today, I'd like you to think about this. Your value is not determined by someone else's ability to see it, so do not edit yourself for anyone. If someone doesn't think that you're enough, that's their opinion, and that is none of your business. If someone says you're too much, tell them to go find less. Have you ever stopped to think about who you would be as a person, who you'd be if you hadn't edited yourself to be who others wanted you to be? How much of the person that you are has been created because someone else didn't see your worth, maybe didn't even see your potential? How much power over your future is placed in other people's hands every day? We are constantly relinquishing control to the subjective decisions of others. This prompt comes from a combination of statements that I've heard various teachers make that have resonated enough with me that not only have I noted them down, but they also stuck with me so much that when I was having a conversation with one of my kids yesterday, a conversation that centered around their frustration with others not responding to the effort that they were putting in, they came to me, and that was my advice. Their frustration at trying their hardest and doing everything quote unquote right. Yet for some reason, they're not getting the acknowledgement that they want or they feel like they should be. And I'll be honest, looking at it as unbiased as I can be, they're not. And I just personally cannot understand why, which of course, as a mother who admittedly also happens to be a control freak, this drives me crazy. I want to fix it. I want to be like, why can't you see this? Why are you blind to all that this kid is and does and is worth? Yes, of course, I'm the mom, so I'm biased, obviously. But I also do have the ability to see that bias and to acknowledge that bias and still be like, why are you not seeing this? When they ask me for my opinion or my advice, my immediate thought is, well, no, my actual immediate thought is, I want to go there and fix it. I want to go and tell them what they are missing out on. But obviously, they're too big for that and would just die if I did. So my second immediate reaction is basically, what are you doing wrong? What are you doing that's not fitting what they want? How can you edit yourself to be the person that they're looking for? Because that's what I would have done. Who am I kidding? It's probably what I'd still at least have the inclination to do. But if I could go back in time and change, if I could tell my younger self one piece of advice, I do think this would be it. Which, of course, is ironic, right? Like, hey, young Jen, I'm a bit older Jen, and I need you to change how you're inclined to act to what I want you to be. Yes, I realize that I'm telling you the literal opposite of what I'm asking you to do now, but after you've changed to how I want you to be, that'll be it. No more changing to how others want you to be. No more editing, okay? But after I caught myself going with my gut reaction for them to edit themselves to fit someone else's standards of value, like I would have done, I actually instead gave them this advice and really hoped that they would listen. Your value is not determined by someone else's ability to see it, so do not edit yourself for anyone. If someone doesn't think you're enough, that is their opinion, and it is none of your business. If someone says you're too much, tell them to go find less. How many times over the course of your life have you let other people determine your worth? How often have you allowed yourself to think about yourself or of your value to the world around you based on how someone else saw you or what they thought based on their own perceptions or their own biases? How many edits have you made to the person who you are at your core? The authentic version of you based on who someone else might want you to be. Now, I'm not talking about adhering to societal norms here. I'm talking about not feeling like you are valuable enough as is, because you don't measure up to the subjective and arbitrary standards or preferences or wishes or proclivities of a parent or a teacher or a coach or some girl in your class or some guy down the street or a woman at the store or whatever. Someone who thought you asked too many questions, or you didn't speak up as much as someone else does, or who didn't like the sound of your voice, or how you looked in your outfit, or who criticized your behavior based on their own insecurities, or any of a million other things that impacted how they were able to determine that they saw your value. And instead of saying, it's unfortunate that you feel that way, but you do you and I'll do me. Instead, we changed a part of who we are. We stopped asking questions or advocating for ourselves. We questioned our own abilities and our own skills enough that we gave up the activity. We stopped singing or dancing or running or gave up a sport. We didn't talk to someone, or we didn't apply for the job, or we didn't take the time to fully analyze the situation. We laughed less. We spoke quieter. We dressed differently. We styled our hair differently. We wore more makeup. We wrote less poetry. We walked with a little less oomph. We played with a little less enthusiasm. We spoke with a little less confidence. I do believe that we usually recognize that we shouldn't change ourselves based on others. But editing to us we see as being different. We do it without realizing the full impact of it, especially long term. How would your life, how would things be different had you not listened to those opinions? Had you not changed how you value aspects of your existence or of your being simply because someone else didn't see your worth? Why did we think it was okay to give an arbitrary person that power? What if instead you told them that you are entitled to your opinion and moved on? Or maybe instead told them to go find less? I like to think it's improvement that I've at least come to recognize when I'm about to advise my own children to edit something about themselves to fit someone else's mold. And instead, I've advised them to stay their own course, to be themselves authentically, to see their own value. But can I do that? Can you do that? Yes, it's progress for me. It's progress for us to be able to reflect and say how we have edited ourselves to the preferences or standards of others in the past. But can we break that cycle today? Because our value is not determined by someone else's ability to see it. So let's not edit ourselves for anyone. And if someone doesn't think we're enough, that's their opinion, and that is none of our business. And if someone says we're too much, just go tell them to find less. Thank you so much for being here today and always. If you've enjoyed the show, please share it with your friends. That's how we will grow our community, and maybe even review and rate the show 5 stars, Avi. Find me on socials. It's Reframing Me everywhere. And don't forget to check out the latest series on families and political discourse, Reframing the Conversation, at reframingtheconversation.com. Until next time, be well and communicate.